Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Rifki Umay bin Razli, and in today's video, I'm going to present to you my CSC098 community service. The topic is calculation for examination marks and assessments weightage for foundation studies. I am currently studying at Pusat Asasi UiTM Campus Dengkil, Foundation in Engineering. Without further ado, let's get started. The scenario that I would like to discuss with you is Solehuddin took Foundation for Engineering program and had just received his exam results of final semester 1 examination in UiTM Dengkil. He needs to keep track of his exam grade and assignment scores from the last project that he had submitted. Then, he also needs to calculate the carry marks, point and total point of the subjects he takes in semester 1 period. On the contrary, he does not know how to use a spreadsheet to perform this task. First and foremost, you need to launch Microsoft Excel on your devices, whether it's PC or laptop. Then, you must click at the home button and blank workbook to enter the Excel interface. Next, double click on cell C2 and type results in semester 1. After that, double click on cell B4 and type NO for numbers. Select cell B4 until cell B5. Click Home, Merge and Center. After that, double click on cell C4 and type the subject that you are taking in Foundation Studies. Select cell C4 until cell C5 and Merge and Center. After that, double click on cell B4 for the assessment. Select cell D4 until cell J4 and merge and center again. Next is for the total point. The total point will include your raw marks of the subject final examination marks, the midterm test, and also your lab project. You select K4 until cell K5 and merge and center. Then, double click on cell L4 and type total mark percentage for the point that you have get over 100. So, by using total mark percentage, we can determine your grade. Select cell M4 and type grade and merge and center. Next, double click on cell D5 and type midterm test bracket 50, which is the total mark of the midterm test. And then on the right side of the cell D5, type marks percentage. Then on the cell F5, type grade. And then in cell G5, type final exam in the bracket 50. Then type marks percentage in cell H5. Then type grade in cell I5. And lastly, type lab and project bracket 50. So we will calculate this later based on the data from the students. Next step is double click on cell B6 below the number blank and type 1, and then double click on cell B7 and type 2. Next, select cell B6 until cell B7 and click plus sign at the corner of the cell, and then drag down according to the number of subjects taken in your semester 1 studies. Number will automatically fill. After that, you must insert all the data such as the name of the subjects taken in semester 1 studies and the marks of the midterm test, final exam, and your lab and project mark that you have gotten recently. All the data will be managed in this table. Next, select a data set from cell B4 until cell M11, and then you click home to borders, and then click all borders so that appears a line in every blank of the data that you fill. For the next step, we need to calculate the marks percentage of the midterm test, which is over 50. First of all, insert function sum SUM on the column status, and then we need to add our marks that we get, which is in this data is 35, and over it with 50, which is the total mark of the paper, and times it by 100 and close bracket. Then we will get the percentage of the midterm test, which is in this data is 70, and then choose the plus symbol at the bottom of the cell and drag down so that it will automatically fill in the grade. And then we must calculate the mark percentage of the final examination. In the data, which is 40, we need to go to the column status, type equal sum, and select the cell final exam and over it with 50 and times it with 100 and close bracket. We will get the marks percentage of final exam, and then we select the plus symbol and drag down to fill in, and then for the total point, use the function sum, just like the mark percentage of the final exam and midterm test, but we need to add its weightage in each of the assessments. For example, midterm test weightage is 25 or 100 times with the midterm test mark over 50, which is cell D6, and sum of the weightage will be plus by the weightage of the final examination marks over 50, which is in this data is cell G6. The marks of the final exam that we choose must over 50 in this calculation, and we add some of the calculation of the final exam with lab and report project, which is 25%, just like the midterm weightage in cell J6. So we got the total point calculations, and we drag down until the bottom so it will automatically fill. Okay, and then lastly, we calculate the total mark percentage. First and foremost, go to the column total mark percentage and type equal to and sum, and then just click on the cell K6, over it by 50 and times with 100 to get the percentage of the total marks that we get. this data that we calculate will be useful to know the grade of the subject that we got. So after that, when we get the total mark percentage, we must fill all the blank, which is the grade of each of the subject. That's all from me. I hope you find this video informative and very useful in your foundation studies.